Underway, the Pelicans control. Rondo hands it off to Drew Holiday, who's having a career year shooting the basketball and points-wise. Moore off the curl. Davis with a mismatch on Rodney Hood. They go deep into the shot clock, just 4 seconds to go. Davis with a turnaround and rebounded by George Hill. Cavaliers coming off a win Wednesday night against Charlotte. Love didn't play in that game. That shot short by Love. Had a tooth knocked loose against the Miami Heat the preceding night and had to go through concussion protocol. But, Doris, we know how good the Cavaliers are when Kevin Love is in the lineup and playing.
I know he's missed a lot of games, but here's the reality. To me, he's been great. And I think it has everything to do with he is unequivocally the number 2 option. He knows it. He's comfortable with it. And once he gets his rhythm, look out.
Having arguably his best season as a member of the Cavaliers. Missed his first 2 jumpers here tonight, but on the season, Kevin Love averaging about 18 points and 9 rebounds per. And since coming back from that broken wrist, he's been even more prolific. Here's James. Mismatch against Drew Holiday. Holiday holding his ground temporarily. LeBron with a quick spin on the baseline and the first bucket of the ball game. Rondo with the baseline jumper.
There was some question about whether he'd play, but not really. It's national TV and we're close to the playoffs. It's Rondo time.
Yeah, and that's a great sign for Cleveland with Rodney Hood in attack mode. Traded at the trade deadline from Utah, where he was averaging about 17 points a game, and the last 3 or 4 has really regained his form. James bullying his way to the bucket.
He might get double digits in the first 12 minutes.
Let's get it done early. Holiday, meanwhile, talked about him having a career year. Been very efficient. Larry Nance was fouled in the open court.
Well, LeBron James needs another double-digit night to pass the great Michael Jordan with 867 straight. He's off to a good start. And Drew Holiday's checked him twice on his first couple of buckets. And Drew's saying, gentlemen, can I get a little help, please?
LeBron James, one of the top scorers amongst leaders in assists.
And I know Drew's given up some size, but we're talking about an exceptional defensive player in Drew Holiday.
Yeah, this time, Etuan Moore is guarding LeBron, isolated on the wing. And that's going to be a defensive 3-second violation against the Pelicans. So Kevin Love will take the free throw for the Cavaliers. LeBron James, number 1 on the most consecutive games with 10 or more points. But the big thing is, Doris, look how far back the next player is. James Harden is a little over 600 games almost back.
You know
That's
what
phenomenal.
It is. And you know what blew me away is when you look over the historical context of the game and some of the great scorers, the Kobes, the AIs. I mean, people aren't close to what LeBron James and MJ have accomplished in that category.
Rondo turns it over. James in the open court. Finds Hood, and Hood hammers it home. Rodney Hood with 4 quick points. And a timeout called by Alvin Gentry. The Pelicans down by 5 as we just get underway here.
For LeBron James, devastating as a scorer, he might be equally devastating here. And yes, Mr. Hood, welcome back to the party.
James, 22 years old, against then New Jersey Nets. Scored 19 points in a win over Vince Carter, Jason Kidd, and Richard Jefferson. And that was the first of what's now an 866 consecutive games scoring in double figures, passing Michael Jordan soon, you would think, for number 1 in the all-time list. Well, 6 points away, Holiday. And Okafor got the second tip to go. And there's one of the great stories, Doris, in the NBA this year. Emeka Okafor was out of the NBA for about 4.5 years because of a herniated disc in his back. Got healthy, worked his way back through the G League, and now contributing big time in the absence of DeMarcus Cousins. Up top, Davis couldn't get that lob. And here come the Cavaliers. A pretty fast pace so far, Doris.
Well, you think about the Cavs, as Kevin Love does a nice job drawing that foul against Emeka Okafor. Cavs are 5th in the league in points per game, 110.7, 5th in field goal percentage. And of course, in the aftermath of the injury to DeMarcus Cousins, this Pelicans team had to make an adjustment. And frankly, they're playing differently. They were playing at a pretty good clip with DeMarcus and much faster without him. And the great Justin Timberlake in the house with a concert here tomorrow, I believe.
Man, if I had a ticket, Doris, I might be tempted to stick around. Big Memphis Grizzlies fan, an NBA fan overall, and the award-winning artist.
I won't mention who, but somebody in our truck is hyperventilating that he's here.
Davis still hasn't found the bucket tonight. And that's going to be out of bounds off of the Pelicans. Anthony Davis, pardon me, that's a foul against Holiday. Anthony Davis limped his way through the last half of their previous game at home against the Portland Trailblazers, a loss. And that ankle still a little bit sore, but the magnitude of this game really speaks volume as to why he's playing right now.
Well, I think he has a great understanding of what's required of him on a nightly basis for them to keep this playoff positioning that they've worked so hard to achieve without DeMarcus.
Rodney Hood, and he has 6 quick points, Doris.
This is crucial. And I think maybe the fact that he is, and they're going to get a foul here in the backcourt. To me, this guy is critical. And the fact that he knows, okay, number 1 option's LeBron, number 2, Kevin Love. He can kind of fit in around those guys, but find a way to be assertive as a scorer and a playmaker. He's got speed. He can go off the dribble drive. He can make threes. Rodney Hood, crucial.
Ejuan Moore left alone, and he makes them pay from the corner with the 3 ball. Cuts the lead to 5. It was Moore that missed those 2 critical threes at the end of the game against Portland a couple of nights ago. Love from the corner. Still off with his jump shot. He's 0 for 3 from the field. Rondo. Back out to Davis with 10 on the clock. Gets downhill and missed another layup. Anthony Davis off to a slow start here. 0 for 3. James, a little bully ball in the paint, and 1. Foul against Hill.
It's just so difficult to deal with because the dribble drive ability is what gets him close, and then it's the physical strength and the power. Look at the initial reaction of the defensive player, right? That left shoulder hits the defender. He goes back an inch, gets the necessary separation, and turn the lights out.
LeBron James now, Doris, with 6 points. And just 4 points away from eclipsing Michael Jordan's record of 866 consecutive games with 10 or more points, make it just 3 points away now.
Do you think he's closed the gap on James Harden in that MVP race, Mark?
I think so. I think with all that's gone on with the Cavaliers this year, with 20-odd different players in uniform and a litany of lineups, he's been the one constant variable. And now he's just 1 point away. They caught the Pelicans napping. And Gentry calls another timeout.
We are a point away from history, and the King is in the building and flat doing work, making short work right now. After the made bucket, look at Kevin Love, who does this so well. Up the floor immediately. The King leads, no doubt. Are we a minute away from history? Let's see.
Watching NBA Friday, presented by State Farm from Cleveland and New Orleans, amongst a group of teams with San Antonio and OKC with 32 losses. Only 1 loss separates 4th from 8th in the Western Conference. And for the Pelicans, Doris, 5 of their last 7 games, including tonight, are against teams that are headed to the playoffs. Tough road down the stretch for New Orleans. Rondo kicks it back out to Moore. Check that. That was Solomon Hill that just checked into the ball game. And he cuts the lead to 4. LeBron James with 9 points in the game. 1 point away from rewriting the NBA record book. 7 on the clock. Rejects the ball screen, and there it is!
See, you had multiple guys. When Kevin Love was looking for the initial post-up, Rondo was cheating, Anthony Davis was cheating. LeBron's reading every defender, and he saw those guys cheating in the middle. He's like, I got one guy to beat. That's a problem.
Doris, I'm doing the math. Yeah. He's got 11, and we're barely at the midway point of the first quarter. LeBron over to Hood. Hood is off to a great start, too. He's got 6. Love off to a slow start. Missing another 3 ball. Kevin Love 0 for 4. Ejuan Moore had it rim out.
How quickly does LeBron go through progressions on the catch? I mean, Kevin doesn't make that shot, but that pass was put perfectly.
Averaging 9 assists on the season. Here's George Hill, one of the several players that was acquired at the trade deadline by Kobe Altman, the general manager for Cleveland. 2 on the clock. I'm not sure they're aware. They just get it off. And Nance Jr. missed. Orleans down by 6. Anthony Davis having a tough go of it here in the early going. And during the break, a chance to honor LeBron James.
His first, team second.
Breaking the action. The whistle, and we're going to stay right here.
Cavalier fans, please join us in congratulating LeBron James with his record-setting 867 consuming games of scoring 10 points or more, passing Michael Jordan for most time. Congratulations, LeBron James!
Another one for the trophy case. Now number 1 on that list of most consecutive games with 10 or more points. And here's one more look at the hoop that got it done.
We're just watching greatness on a nightly basis. And a guy as Mirotic gets one to fall. One, LeBron is the historian of the game. He's aware of his place in the historical context of the game, but he's also aware of his place in the current context. And what he does nightly is truly incredible, Mark.
Hood with the miss. And part of LeBron's greatness, Doris, we've said it before, is the fact that he's available. He has had an incredible run of great health and being available to play, and that's how he's been able to rack up these great numbers. Part of the reason, anyway.
Well, look, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, Shaquille O'Neal, for a long stretch of time, was the most dominant force in the game that you had to game plan for nightly, send multiple guys out. Those are great scorers below him. Just to give you some perspective of how hard what he just did and what Kareem and Michael Jordan did with that consistency.
Anthony Davis with another miss, his 5th of the night. Still not on the score sheet. Jordan Clarkson. And rebounded by Rondo. Trying to get a run out here. The Pelicans playing at the fastest pace since Cousins was injured, with a demonstration of that there in the layup. Laid down to 2. LeBron has scored the last 7 for the Cavaliers. Here's J.R. Smith. And it was questionable as to whether Smith was actually going to play tonight, Doris, because he was ill. Foul's going to go against Rondo. That's the 15th foul and a penalty now. That'll send J.R. Smith to the free throw line. He's coming off one of his better games of the season a couple of nights ago in that win against Charlotte. He had 19 points on 8 of 9 from the field.
He still doesn't feel great. This shoot around this morning was questionable right up till game time.
Saw him coughing in the layup line, but he was feeling real good on Wednesday when the athletic training staff arranged a meeting with Remington, the University of North Carolina therapy dog. Spends time with their baseball team, so Remington was on loaner to the Cavaliers, and it really seemed to have a huge impact on JR, who has a couple of dogs of his own, and it helped him get out of his mini shooting slump.
He said, I live in my own head, which is an interesting space, no doubt. And that perhaps Remington helped him.
Remington's going to have to come on that Cleveland payroll if it can get JR to shoot like that every night.
I think he's a sensitive soul, to be perfectly honest with you.
I would agree. Foul in play puts Rondo on the free throw line. As we take a look at the upcoming national TV schedule, NBA TV tomorrow has Charlotte at Washington, then the first place Raptors at Boston. ABC Sunday, interesting tilt. San Antonio hosting the Houston Rockets, the number 1 seed in the West. And then Tuesday on TNT, Golden State OKC, followed by San Antonio Clippers. For more on these games, log on to NBA.com or visit the NBA app.
What an impressive win by San Antonio over Oklahoma City, 103-99. LaMarcus Aldridge just continues to dominate. He had 25 and 11. He has been at such a high level all year.
His effort and productivity has been kind of lost in all of the Kawhi Leonard story. That play and ball knocked out of bounds by Davis. 11 on the shot clock for the Cavaliers.
And a nice little exchange of smiles between two high flyers, Anthony Davis and Green. See, typically, the Cavs do a very nice job with that lob, right? Like, if you don't stay attached to Tristan or to Mr. Green, but not with Anthony Davis at the cup.
Yeah, that's him back there. J.R. Smith taking out his do-it-yourself kit. Tristan Thompson with the board and back out to James. Darius Miller on James. Mirotic with the board. Niko Mirotic, part of that roster remake right around the trade deadline, acquired from the Chicago Bulls, and he has fit in seamlessly, although in a little bit of a shooting slump of late. Davis on the block and draws the foul on Jeff Green. New Orleans has whittled away Doris and cut the lead down to 2, both teams in the penalty. And all that, and Anthony Davis still hasn't scored in this game. What a month of February he had. He was telling us earlier that in the wake of Cousins' injury, a game that I did late in January, the team kind of got together and said, we have to play differently. And DeMarcus Cousins, while they're on that 5-game losing streak out of 6 games, said, AD, you got to get back to being you. You're not me. You have to play more like you. And Gentry told him, you've never been a passer, so don't try and be DeMarcus Cousins, who was averaging about 5 assists.
Right. Anthony,
it seemed to have worked.
Well, yeah, because Anthony told us I was trying to play DeMarcus's role in my role, and I can't fulfill both.
Tristan Thompson and the Pelicans with a chance to take the lead here. Ian Clark. And Ian Clark is starting to find his groove.
I'll tell you, he's shooting it with great confidence, isn't he?
At least 6 points in 18 straight games, including 9 in double figures. And the Pelicans in the midst of a 10-1 run, taking their first lead. And Clarkson brings Cleveland a little closer.
This is what Jordan Clarkson has always done. Been highly productive off the bench.
Davis inside to Etuan Moore and boarded by the Cavaliers. Quick hit ahead by James. Jeff Green was calling pass interference, but no flag on the play. That's a 3rd turnover of the ball game for Cleveland. Had to throw a little football in for Adam here. You know, Schefter's on the sidelines tonight. Yeah, they redid that catch rule. We don't debate such things here in the NBA. We're over to Ian Clark. Nice feed to Mirotic.
You're right about Mirotic. He's done a good job. He's made 42 threes for this team since he's joined them. He's mixed it up on the glass.
A lot of familiarity with Rondo, who was teammates with in Chicago. Nice layup. Tough shot inside by Clarkson. But yeah, Mirotic called Rondo at the time one of the best teammates that he's ever had when they were both on the Bulls roster. Inside to Davis. Under a minute to go, Davis looking for his first field goal and still looking. 0 for 6 from the field. James off the Thompson screen. Got downhill and missed the easy finger roll. Little 2-for-1 situation for the Pelicans. And Davis with his first field goal right there with 26 seconds to go in the quarter.
A little chatter between J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson about that mistaken coverage defensively.
This is still a defensive team, the Cavaliers, that rank in the bottom quarter about 27th or 28th in defensive efficiency. Cavaliers going to try and run it down. There's a 2-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Smith pulls, got it! And another dime for James. Clark with plenty of time, the runner no good. And James clears. And that's the end of the first quarter, a historical first period for LeBron James. Writing his name into the NBA record books one more time. And if you missed it, here's how he did it. With indomitable force. Let's take a look at tonight's Player Spotlight, brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. LeBron always in the spotlight for the Cavaliers. Big first quarter for James, setting the record course.
Well, he makes his first 5 shots. He was devastating in transition. Too many of the Cavs' points coming right at point-blank range. On the other side, Anthony Davis missed his first 6 shots.
This interview brought to you by Sprint. I'm here with Alvin Gentry, the Pelicans coach. You look fairly upset to start the game. What happened there, Alvin?
Well, our transition defense was atrocious. You know, you can't give up easy baskets to these guys, and so we're shooting the ball from the right side of the floor, and they're running a guy out. The left side has to get back, and that's the only thing. We gave up 10 of their 29 points came on dead layups because we didn't run back in transition.
But you then had a 10-1 run. What changed the tone for your team?
Well, first of all, we were able to get our defense set, and when we get our defense set, we are pretty good. And then offensively, I thought we got the ball moving a lot more.
What can you say about LeBron James in his 867th consecutive game of double figures in scoring?
He's probably got 867 more to go. So he's great. He's sensational. We got to do a better job of at least making it work for him.
Thank you, Alvin. Appreciate the time.
All right, thank you.
What a great line by Alvin. He was right on there. 867 more.
Can I see Adam Schefter ask Pop a third question?
Yeah, he's over the question cap right there.
Oh, my goodness.
New Orleans leading by 3. Mirotic with the show and go, and couldn't finish at the rim. Here's Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson, number 2 in the NBA in points scored off the bench, only behind Lou Williams of the Clippers.
Adam is feeling himself, and I don't know, he's got a handful of NBA telecasts. He's talking smack pregame, saying, I want to interview Pop. I almost want to send him down there Sunday for our ABC show.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you ask for. Kevin Love still struggling from outside. Right now it's Clarkson, J.R. Smith, Jeff Green, Thompson, and Kevin Love. Mirotic straight away, still trying to find his rhythm. When he first joined the team, he was red hot from downtown, but he struggled shooting in the high 20% range since that time. Clarkson with a dynamic move to the basket. Doris, what do you make of this Cleveland bench in terms of their depth and going into the playoffs?
Yeah, 6th in the league, averaging a franchise record. Wow, good finish there by Mirotic. But they're getting consistent productivity from their bench. 41.4. It would set a Cavalier franchise record for a season if they stay there.
Jordan Clarkson off the bench, along with J.R. Smith. There have been 3 different teams, different rosters that the Cavaliers have pretty much had this year. Green left it short, a whistle and a foul underneath. Going to go against Cheikh Diallo. But what a strong move by Mirotic a moment ago.
Yeah, I just like his game. At his size, to be able to put it on the deck, attack the rim with that kind of ferocity. You're right, he has fit in perfectly with this group.
Mirotic, erstwhile of the Chicago Bulls. And one of those guys that helped spread the floor for the New Orleans Pelicans. Smith back out to the corner, Kevin Love. And it has been a cold shooting night so far for Love. 0 for 5 from downtown, 0 for 6 overall. Mirotic against Green. A whistle and a foul going to go against Jeff Green. And that'll put Mirotic on the free throw line. From March 30th to April 3rd, the NBA, its teams and players are committed to further promoting equality and inclusion for all fans in celebration of autism awareness. In fact, both the Pelicans and Cavaliers have partnered with Culture City to ensure families with sensory needs feel welcome and can enjoy any game in their respective arenas. To learn more, visit NBAcares.com. And Darius Miller with a long two ball. Just what do you make of all the Kentucky guys on the roster, Doris? Anthony Davis, Rondo, Darius Miller. I mean,
Surprised we haven't seen a video of John Calipari promoting that.
we haven't checked recently. Clarkson had it knocked out of bounds off of his leg. It'll come back the other way. But it was interesting to hear Anthony Davis talk about the impact that Rondo has on him. Constantly in his ear. Roaring him to do a lot of things. Ian Clark. Miller. Great ball movement. The extra pass. The sidestep three on the way. Everything but the bucket on the jumper for the Pelicans, but another possession. Miller from the corner.
Wow, Mirotic, that is Mirotic's bucket. He battled Kevin Love, an outstanding rebounder on the weak side, and he appreciates his own effort there, and rightly so.
An underrated rebounder, according to the coaching staff. Mirotic made that happen.
He's on the right side of your screen, and his willingness to engage Kevin Love opens up an opportunity for his teammate. Nice work, Nicola.
Michelle Beto with tonight's winning moment, brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Sixers, a half game behind the Cavs second quarter. Markelle Fultz attacks the rim with aplomb. Sixers up 6 at the half. Guys?
Boy, so happy for that young man, Doris. We did a Philadelphia game earlier this year, and he has been through a lot just to get back onto the court.
And Sixers fans are rejoicing. That kind of dunk in transition, my goodness.
They're going to have to go a ways now without Joel Embiid, who's out with that orbital fracture. LeBron put the Pelicans in the weight room there.
If you notice, the later he gets in his career, the percentage of shots he's taking in the painted area are rising with every season. He just gets where he wants to go.
Drew Holiday had it partially blocked by Jeff Green. I mentioned the fact that Philadelphia just half game back of the Cavaliers, the number 4 and 3 seeds respectively. But look how tight it is all the way going down to even 35 losses with Miami and Milwaukee.
To me, there's fascinating storylines up and down that. Number one, Philadelphia has by far the easiest schedule remaining and has for about the last 2 weeks. They have, I believe it's an April 6th matchup with the Cavs, which could loom monumental. Indiana has the toughest remaining schedule, but what if they were to finish in third? Who would the 4 or 5 be? Would that be
Indiana?
No, if Indiana finishes...
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a Cleveland, Philadelphia. Ben Simmons and LeBron, the protege and mentor rivalry. So many things still to be decided as the Pelicans and Drew Holiday hope to get back to the playoffs for the first time in 3 years. And that was the season when Anthony Davis actually finished 5th in the MVP ballot. And he's on the bench right now, Doris. And they're continuing this nice run with him getting some rest.
Come on, the bench has been absolutely sensational. 22 of the 40 points have come from the reserves of New Orleans.
Foul in the open court, so Drew Holiday, ball handler there. That's the team 3rd foul for the Cavaliers.
Okay, I just want Alvin Gentry to put Larry Drew in. I know Rondo's playing, and that makes the rotation at that position tougher.
Larry Drew did get some first half minutes in the second quarter against Charlotte a couple of nights ago. Signed his second 10-day contract recently with the Pelicans. George Hill back to the other end. One and done at the offensive end for the Cavaliers. Solomon Hill, great crossover. Oh, Jeff Green needs new breaks after that crossover. What a move and bucket. And the lead is up to 9 now for the Pelicans, their largest of the game. Love inside. That's as close as he's been to the basket all night.
Well, to me, that's smart, right? You're struggling shooting the basketball. You're coming back off the concussion protocol. Not even sure you're going to play tonight. Get a close one to start cooking a little bit.
Holiday over Love. A couple of UCLA guys head-to-head.
Yeah, see, to me, because of the kind of season Anthony Davis has had, Drew Holiday completely overshadowed. But this guy has been crucial to what they've done in the absence of DeMarcus.
Hill couldn't find LeBron. He turns it over and back to Holiday. Alvin Gentry was telling us a little bit earlier, this is the first year, 2 years ago, he had the injury as he subs out of the game. Last year, he took several weeks and a couple of months off to care for his wife, Lauren Holiday, the U.S. Women's National Team soccer player who had underwent not only a pregnancy, but a brain tumor operation. So this is the first full training camp he's had in a couple of years and paying dividends for the Pelicans. Check Diallo inside, gets it to fall. And that Cleveland defense looking very porous right now, Doris.
And doing it against the reserves. And it's come from any number of places. 17-6 in the second quarter, New Orleans.
Hood with a nice spin move, but left it short. Here come the Pelicans. Solomon Hill straight away and rebounded by Hood. James thought about the three, then pulls. A little bit strong. And sprinting back the other way, Drew Holiday. Clark inside with the layup. Anthony Davis and Rondo ready to check in, but the lead swelling to 13. And what does it say about Dell Demps and Alvin Gentry able to rebuild this team on the fly after losing 25 points and 10 rebounds a game in Cousins?
And the job Alvin Gentry has had to do, navigating different personnel and obviously completely changing the way you're playing. I think they were 12th in pace maybe, but for a long stretch without him, they were leading the league in pace. Going back to his Golden State days when he was the associate head coach on that championship.
Sure. Familiar playing that 7 seconds or less. He was an assistant coach for Mike D'Antoni in Phoenix back in the day.
A couple different iterations of this group.
It was tipped out of bounds by the Pelicans. 5 on the shot clock for the Cavaliers.
Alvin Gentry's been around a little bit. Head coach of 5 different organizations.
Big year for the Pelicans, trying to get back to the playoffs for the first time in 3 seasons. It's been a turbulent couple of weeks for them with the passing of Tom Benson, the owner of both the Pelicans and the Saints. Shot clock at 1. Hood drills it. And a turnover by the Pelicans. Hill wasn't ready for the pass. LeBron in a rush. Clarkson for 3. Seven-point game. Holiday makes it a 10-point margin again. James almost lost the handle. Knocked it out of bounds with presence of mind off of Solomon Hill. What about that great story that Brian Windhorst wrote on ESPN.com a little while ago, talking about LeBron James' 7-figure investment in his body and keeping himself healthy with, ice baths and all kinds of facilities in his own home, Doris?
Well, he said he gets better like fine wine. I would say his budget for wine and for body upkeep is different than most.
I want one of those oxygen chambers in my crib.
You do?
Yeah.
I could see that about you.
I bought the VersaClimber already, which LeBron kind of made famous this summer with one of his Instagram posts.
Well, think about the year of their championship. And they would have competitions in their training room with the VersaClimber, all triggered by this guy. And here's the scary thing to me. Both head coaches tonight, Larry Drew stepping in for his friend Ty Lue, and Alvin Gentry said, LeBron will go to another level in the playoffs.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I think that he has another gear. His team down 12 right now, under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Hood off the curl.
See, when he's that aggressive, when Hood comes in with the mindset, I'm going to be aggressive. Look how easy that jumper is.
Yeah, he's got 14, Doris.
And look at how easy Drew Holiday gets to the cup.
This game free-flowing. Holiday with 11 points. James against Darius Miller. Cavaliers, nobody cutting to the basket. Nance inside, fouled by Davis. Time out on the floor. New Orleans leading by 12.
This first, team's third.
Go, chase it, chase it. Good, good. Great ball movement. Hey, that's the way we have to play right there.
Good result for one of the highest scoring teams in the NBA, the Pelicans. Meanwhile, speaking of scoring, it's been a tough night for Kevin Love. 1 for 9 from the field, Doris, and obviously a little frustrated.
Well, you think, as you said, he had been playing so well, and it's a sign of frustration. Refuses the water, throws the towel.
Yeah, if you throw out the Miami game where he only played a little over a minute before being done for the night, he was averaging over 20 per in the 3 previous games.
He'll be fine.
So I noticed he was wearing a mouth guard tonight.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I couldn't look at the injury.
Yeah. And one of his front teeth dislodged, even though it wasn't totally knocked out.
How about the Pelicans, after getting outscored by 12 in the first quarter, have now outscored the Cavs by 14 in the paint. We just came out of break showing you that ball movement. Boy, Anthony Davis.
Struggling still. Here's Jordan Clarkson. Finds James cutting. Wow, he looked like he had some bad intentions on that. 15 points for James. Is he mad at somebody?
No, I think he's loving the game of basketball right now.
Active hands by Larry Nance Jr., but the pass a little bit too high by Hill.
A rare 2-turnover game for Mr. George Hill, but you might want to step out of the way if you see the king coming down the lane. You can see Miller thinks about it and then sort of says, you know what, I value my existence. Let me get out of LeBron's way.
He might have spent a little extra time in that oxygen chamber that he has in his home.
He's 15 years in. He's gone to 7 consecutive finals.
Unbelievable. Anthony Davis finally seeing another one get through the bucket. And if he's going to make it to 8 straight NBA Finals, Doris, he'll have to do it not being a number 1 or 2 seed like the previous 7. What do you make of that? Think he can still do it as a number 3 seed?
Yes, I do. No doubt.
James isolated against Darius Miller with 6 on the shot clock and will walk him down. Good double team forcing the turnover. 2-on-1 the other way. Rondo missed the layup. And back comes George Hill. Clarkson back out the hood in rhythm. Nance battling. Loose ball. Out of bounds. It'll be Pelicans basketball. Hey, coming up on the Toyota halftime, LeBron breaks the scoring record. Michelle, Jalen, and Paul Pierce in the studio tonight.
Michelle and Jalen have just a couple of days left of sleep before the Get Up show debuts on Monday. They're going to be burning the candle at both ends, but I don't think that would be unusual for either of them.
Hashtag team no sleep. Beads and Jalen Rose. 37.5 to go here for the Pelicans. They can get a 2 for 1 here. Isolate Anthony Davis on Jeff Green. Davis double teamed, and he turns it over. It's been rough sledding tonight for him. 7 turnover for the Pelicans. And Cavaliers can run it right down. A whistle, contact, and foul against Ian Clark, who was riding Rodney Hood. The 14th foul, first in the last 2 minutes. Miller guarding James. Jeff Green with a nice show and go. Knocked loose nicely by Davis. And that's the end of the first half of play. The Pelicans leading by 10 points despite a subpar shooting first half from Anthony Davis. Just 8 points on 3 of 10. Meanwhile, Drew Holiday continuing on a great arc, a career season for him. But more to come in the second half from LeBron and the Cavaliers trying to hang on to that number 3 seed in the East. A history-making night for the Kings.
The NBA on ESPN, presented all season long by State Farm, is brought to you by Taco Bell. Try the new $1 nacho fries, here for a limited time.
Take a look at tonight's bold stat brought to you by Tecate. One of the numbers, Doris, that jumps off the page at you, the 15 assists for the Pelicans, number 3 in the NBA in assists overall. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, courtside along with Doris Burke. Adam Schefter joining us in just a bit. New Orleans, number 6 in the Western Conference, coming into the game tonight. Larry Drew, the acting head coach of the Cavaliers, said they would have to slow down Anthony Davis in the pick and roll. Hasn't been a problem, but they're down 10 still.
Give some credit to Drew Holiday and the reserves for this team because they are largely responsible for the position they find themselves in. Drew Holiday has had an exceptional year. He is a big, strong guard, can get to the cup, can make threes, one of the better defensive guards in the league. And how about Mirotic leading a bench gang that got 28 points and 13 rebounds, and all of their reserves shot over 50%. Tell you what, AD with the bucket there, but his teammates lifted him up.
Certainly did. Holiday and Mirotic combining for 20 as we go courtside to Adam.
All right, Mark, talking to Larry Drew, the Cavaliers head coach, he said, going into the second half, the Cavaliers must do a better job containing the ball. They also must do a better job of making shots. And if you look at the bench scoring in the first half, the Pelicans reserve outscored the Cavaliers 28-13.
Wow, that really is very telling. Once again, one of the storylines, the Cavaliers defense, 27th in the NBA in defensive field goal percentage. Hill with his first bucket of the night, 2 points at the other end. Rondo, good fake on LeBron James and got the bucket.
He's done that a time or two, has he not? So good with the basketball. I'm not sure how many people paid attention to the pickup of Rajon Rondo to this team, but to me, he's been critical. And not just as the hype man for Anthony Davis.
Between him and Drew Holiday, they average about 12 assists per game on the season. Here's Mirotic. Good ball fake on Love. And he's having a good night at the offensive end. 11 points for Nico Mirotic. Joined the team right before the trade deadline as New Orleans remade their roster a little bit. Nance Jr. with the board. Pass tipped out of bounds.
You know, we have seen Rajon Rondo use sleight of hand. He has always been a high-level passer. But those big hands that he possesses, it's in the mouth guard, a little like Steph Curry.
Little distraction move maybe on the defender. He is a 4-time All-Star. 13 on the clock. Nance Jr. extending his range and hitting the 3. Not just one kid from Akron on the court tonight. Larry Nance, born in Northeast Ohio. Coming to play for the team that his father played for. Makes the steal on defense. Hill got it. 6 quick points for George Hill to start the third quarter.
Well, an uncharacteristic first half for George Hill. It's a guy who averages just a shade over a turnover. He had a couple of plays where we were just shocked. You know he's too steady, George Hill, to put back-to-back tough halves together. We're talking about a tremendous teammate, rock solid on the offensive end. Nance does a nice job sniffing that out. He does a nice job of streaking ahead.
You know, George Hill not that far removed from averaging a career-high 17 points a game last year with the Utah Jazz. Signed a 3-year, $58 million deal with the Sacramento Kings, but it quickly, Doris, became apparent that De'Aaron Fox was the future at that position, so they found a nice landing spot for Hill here in Cleveland. Inside, Nance Jr. Hill had a notion. Good defense by Holiday, forcing Nance to shoot it.
Come on. This is what I'm talking about on Holiday. He just refused to let George Hill get the basketball back.
We're talking to Alvin Gentry, who says that he would be shocked if Holiday weren't on the all-defensive team this year in the NBA. Mirotic offensively, got it. Mirotic on fire tonight with 14.
Another assist for Rondo.
Pelicans coming into the game tonight 43-32. Number 6 seed and fighting for their playoff lives. James finds Nance Jr. And Davis with the board. Unlike a couple of nights ago against Portland, as Mirotic finds the bottom again.
And Rajon Rondo is directing traffic right now, and that forces a timeout from Cleveland. Last couple of plays, it's his communication, his running the team that's generating this. Mirotic has got the last 8.
The NBA on ESPN, presented all season long by State Farm, is brought to you by Simple Mobile. You can keep it complicated, or you can mobile simple with Simple Mobile.
Jones, to your point about Drew Holiday, look at him give assistance on the post, recover under control, challenge his shot, get down in a stance, force George Hill to give it up, and then won't let him get it back. You got the right guy taking the shot if you're New Orleans. I know Nance has been effective, but concede that versus the other guy for sure.
Of course, they ran a play for LeBron, and he missed the short jump shot. Yeah, Drew Holiday having an outstanding year at both ends of the floor. Think about this New Orleans team with Boogie Cousins. They've got 3 legit scoring options in Holiday, Cousins, and Davis. Hill on the move! And George Hill with a big breakout quarter here. He's got 8.
Well, sprint the floor in transition, and I promise you, LeBron James will have his head up and find you.
He's down to 9. Whistle and a foul going to go against Kevin Love.
George Hill doing work, and a lot of it coming off this. Sprinting out transition, getting ahead of the play. Nicely done.
Third foul, meanwhile, on George Hill, the guy that was, pardon me, that's against Kevin Love. It's Love's third foul. Rondo was looking for Mirotic on the flare. Davis takes it. Tough fadeaway, hits bottom. Think about the career arc of Anthony Davis. A 6'3 junior in high school, graduates as a 6'10 senior with a 7'4 wingspan. And there's that wingspan used on Jeff Green.
Come on, he's got a chance in his first 6 years to lead the NBA in blocks 3 times.
He's got 2 blocks here tonight, boys. Mirotic back to Holiday. Good find for the layup.
A really good job by Mirotic. And look at the frame of Drew Holiday. I mean, big upper body, nice and strong. Get him near the cup, he'll score it.
Hey, he told me he's not the best athlete in the family. Ron Holiday, U.S. Women's National Soccer Team player. Love inside, draws the foul on Mirotic.
Well, wondered what kind of half Anthony Davis would have. This is a tough shot. Kevin Love closes that airspace, didn't matter. And this is where he's been dominant since Boogie Cousins' absence. Both ends of the floor. A locked in and engaged guy who has decided I need to play like Russell Westbrook for us to win. Man, he's scary.
Pretty insightful comment by Davis. Take a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. NBA TV tomorrow, Charlotte, Washington, followed by the Raptors at Boston. ABC showdown on Sunday. Houston at San Antonio, game that means so much for the Spurs, trying to stay in the playoff picture. I know they're 4th seed right now, but it's not a long way from 4th to 9th in the Western Conference. And Golden State OKC, San Antonio Clippers Tuesday on TNT. Holiday stares down the long one. And rebounded by James. Bullet pass to Hill. And Hill missed the layup. Pelicans have a 5-on-4. Hill shaken up at the other end, not getting up. Mirotic tees up the 3, and it rims out. Rondo saved it. No, he didn't. Tom Washington said he stepped on the line, and George Hill favoring that left leg as Jose Calderon gets ready to come in for him. Let's take one more look, Doris. Oh. Looks like he turned it on takeoff. Right there. As the procession of injuries continues for the Cavaliers.
With this Taco Bell studio update, Rockets, Suns. Rockets already have that first place spot in the West. It doesn't stop James Harden from claiming another victim. However, Suns up big in this one, guys.
James Harden still taking ankles. And speaking of ankles, Doris, look at this.
It's not just that he turns it, then he lands hard on it.
He came off the court immediately afterwards and during the break headed into the Cavaliers locker room. They have had a litany of injuries this year. Tristan Thompson missed time with a severely sprained ankle. Kevin Love missed about 6 weeks with a broken left hand. Rodney Hood, since coming over, missed time with a sore back. Larry Nance Jr. with a hamstring. Hood, he did it all himself on that possession, Doris.
I mean, it just looked so aggressive and assertive. It didn't matter that he knew Mirotic had some size. He just danced him to the place he wanted him.
16 points for Hood. Davis up high. Couldn't follow with the left hand. And Hood takes it off the glass and goes. LeBron with a layup.
Rodney Hood's a playmaker in that instance, not the scorer.
And LeBron was 17. Holiday stripped by Kevin Love. James to Hood. And Hood couldn't finish this time. Solomon Hill straightaway three. And James going to walk it up. Rodney Hood said that LeBron has been very vocal in encouraging him to just play the way that he played when he was in Utah. Love inside, off glass.
Really nice job to navigate multiple bodies.
7-0 Cleveland run. E'Twaun Moore inside. And here come the Cavaliers. A chance to get it down to 4. Two-man game with Love and James. Seven on the clock. James staring down Mirotic. Dancing with it.
That whole time, as Mirotic is trying to contend with LeBron, Drew Holiday is in his ear telling him, I'm to your right, you've got help here.
Good communication defensively by the Pelicans. Holiday, good ball fake. And a terrific finger roll for Drew Holiday, who has 15.
You put everything that was distracting in your past, you're in a perfect place mentally, and your skills start to come to bear.
Pelicans up by 8, under 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. New Orleans looking for their 44th win of the season, and Kevin Love knocks down the baseline jumper.
After a slow start, he's starting to warm up.
It's their last game on Wednesday in Charlotte. Completing concussion protocol. Davis fouled, and he'll go to the strike for a pair.
Rodney Hood has been aggressive as a scorer, and it's been from the outset. He liked this matchup. He's just trying to dance Mirotic into a little separation, and then in transition, feeling LeBron James coming. Nice, efficient one-dribble move by LeBron. This is why Hood is critical. And I think the fact that he's the third scorer, especially in his first go-round with LeBron, will make things easier on him.
That was the fourth foul, meanwhile, on Kevin Love of the Cavaliers. And he's going to get a breather. But back to Rodney Hood telling me prior to the game tonight that during his exit meeting last year with the Utah Jazz, Dennis Lindsey told him that he had some work to do. He was looking for some definitive improvement. He gave it to the Jazz, but Donovan Mitchell's emergence kind of squeezed out his minutes, Doris. But Hood did have a great summer working out with Joe Johnson in Atlanta, just north of the city in Buckhead, and really got himself ready for this season. Right now, it's Jordan Clarkson's turn, making it a 5-point game. Larry Davis. Boy, that's tough to stop.
Oh, come on now. That's 6'10". He started his basketball career as a guard. He's kept those skills, and the longer he is in the NBA, the more refined he becomes.
A guy who averaged 35 points a game during the month of February. Holiday with the rebound, and he's fouled by Tristan Thompson.
How'd you like to have to contend with this? Just lifts that defender with a nice little up fake. You typically see the floater from undersized guards. I don't know what position to call it, but
whatever position he wants to play, maybe.
Correct, yeah.
Has 8 40-point games this year. Only Harden has as many as that. Holiday double teamed. Out of bounds off of Ian Clark. That's the 11th turnover of the game for the Pelicans. On quickly to a wide open Clarkson. Boy, they hit the snooze button, and Gentry is in sync. Don't forget, second half of our double dip coming up here on ESPN. Damian Lillard, who has 19 straight games with 20 or more points. And what about the fact that he was right up to his paternal duties? His girlfriend having their baby after he torched the Pelicans for 41 points, Doris. Jumped on a plane, made it back home in time.
Congratulations to him.
Yes,
Your
sir.
life has changed forever. In the best possible way, I will say that.
He missed the next game against Memphis, and the Blazers lost. 4-point Cleveland lead. Davis launching. A chance to get it to 2. Cleveland in the midst of a 15-6 run. LeBron inside. Thompson with the tip. James with the follow.
Good activity from Tristan to keep that opportunity alive and get LeBron a second look at it. Does it feel like these teams have taken turns taking a nap on defense and letting the other group back in?
And maybe there's a reason why they're both in the top 5 in scoring for us. James at the board and a chance to tie. LeBron serving. Clarkson guarded by Clark. And a foul on Ian Clark on the push with 1:30 to go. It's the third foul on Ian Clark, the first in the last 2 minutes against the Pelicans. Cleveland hasn't led in this ball game since it was 22-21 late in the first quarter. Clarkson off the pin down, and Davis with a man-sized rebound. That's his 5th.
Feels like LeBron has gotten so much less aggressive as a scorer after that dynamic first quarter.
He was looking to get his early. Referring to Green there on the pass and one. Green light for Jeff Green.
Now the beauty of LeBron, though, he'll find a way. A nice job by Jeff Green to be opportunistic there. Tip catch and a bucket.
And the Cavaliers with a chance to take the lead here. As we check in with Adam Schefter courtside. Adam?
All right, Mark, thanks very much. George Hill was taken to the locker room with a left ankle injury. He will not return tonight. He will be reevaluated in the morning, Mark.
Wow, more bad news for the Cavaliers as far as injuries are concerned. In spite of that, in the midst of an 8-0 run, which is snapped right there by Ian Clark. Pelicans with a 1-point lead. Kobe Altman, the general manager, remade, gutted, eviscerated the roster at the trade deadline. They got younger and more dynamic. Clarkson, one of those pieces.
Just providing that punch on a franchise record pace for productivity off the bench. And Clarkson a big part of that.
Mentioned he was second only to Lou Williams in scoring off the bench. Davis. Thompson with the board.
Boy, you've seen a good version of Tristan Thompson tonight. The activity level on the glass. Defensively checking Davis right there.
Told me that during the time he was out with the ankle injury, he got himself in great condition, down to 6% body fat. 6 seconds to go on the clock. James kicks it out to Green for 3. And that's the end of 36 minutes. The Cavaliers leading by 1. LeBron approaching another triple-double.
Tonight's Star Watch brought to you by Hardee's, and it's all about the Cavs comeback. Kevin Love, after a tough first half, came out making his first 3. Mr. Clarkson, off the pass from LeBron, gets involved in the action. And, oh yeah, LeBron could score it, even if it's off an offensive rebound mark.
And Jeff Green with a 3-point play. The Cavaliers surging in that third quarter to take a 1-point lead. They close on a 10-2 run.
All All right, welcome back to Quickens Loan Arena in Cleveland. Here with Cavaliers head coach Larry Drew. You talked about containing the ball and making shots in the third quarter. Larry, what was your assessment of how that went?
Well, we did a little bit better job containing the basketball, and obviously we made some shots. Played with a lot more energy, and that's the thing I'm most proud of.
What does this team have to do in the fourth quarter to put the Pelicans away?
We'll do what we did in the third quarter. We got to contain the basketball, we got to run, and we got to make shots.
Thanks very much, Larry.
All right, thank you.
The Cavaliers close the quarter on a 10-2 sprint. Taking a 1-point lead here into the final 12 minutes. Mark Jones alongside Doris Burke and Adam Schefter. And Kevin Love going to be called for the offensive foul.
Is that number 5?
Yes, it is.
He saw check Diallo on him, and Diallo has been a guy who's provided consistent energy for New Orleans. Wow, that's a foul to me on Check Diallo. Right?
Yeah, I didn't see the offensive
Me neither.
foul there.
I don't blame Kevin in his frustration.
Clark missed the floater. Diallo with that great energy, the offensive rebound.
Well, Rondo knows he's got 5. You know Rondo, he's going to play. He's looking for an opportunity, knowing Love's got to be careful.
Right at him. 10 on the shot clock. Plenty of time for the Pelicans. Mirotic got it back. Rondo with a smart dime, and Mirotic pays off.
8 assists for Rajon Rondo. Anthony Davis getting some support again from his teammates.
Well, you think about Rondo and some of the stops, things didn't quite work out for him. Had some confrontations with different head coaches, but you can't doubt his basketball IQ.
No doubt about that, or his competitiveness, or the fact that he loves playing on national TV. Watch this. Understanding Jeff Green out of position. Mirotic drains a 3. Nicely done.
The NBA on ESPN is presented all season long by State Farm, here to help life go right. And in part by Verizon, the most awarded network ever.
Up premieres Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Mike Greenberg, Michelle Beal, and Jalen Rose also available on the ESPN app. Looking forward to that with my morning espresso.
What time do you think you got to be in studio if your show starts at 7?
4:30. Clarkson with the layup inside knocks the game at 82. Mark Jones, Doris Burke, and Adam Schefter here. 19-point night for Jordan Clarkson for the Cavaliers. Mirotic has a mismatch, so the double team comes. Good help by J.R. Smith. Diallo, that's Miller. Hits the 3.
So the trap meant that on the weak side of the floor, Jordan Clarkson was one man trying to check 2. And he's halfway between the shooter in the corner and the shooter in the slot. And he gave up a 3.
There's J.R. Smith. Back out to Green. Green went high, had it blocked by Diallo. A whistle and a foul going to go against Diallo inside as Tristan Thompson was happy.
It's not the first pass, right? This is easy to check. Everybody's on the strong side, but you see right there, Clarkson's going, okay, do I step up to Miller? Do I go deep corner? He should have stepped up to Miller because it was Rondo, I believe, in the deep corner. You give up a 3, you give it up to Rondo.
Tough spot to be put in a sense, huh? Yes, no? Not really? Just made the wrong decision.
That's correct. I mean, it is obviously not ideal to be one defender checking 2 guys.
LeBron coming back into the ball game for Jeff Green. Anthony Davis getting a breather for the Pelicans. It's a slow night offensively for him, just 14 points on 5 of 15. On a night when LeBron James set the NBA record for most consecutive games, scoring 10 or more points. J.R. Smith. That one halfway down and out. Another offensive board, but Thompson kicked it out of bounds.
I just love his activity level, though.
Yeah.
All night.
Thompson, in the previous game, made his first start since returning from a recent ankle injury and been really good on the offensive glass. Miller off the baseline screen. A long 2 on the way. James with the board up court. Tough catch for Smith. James got Mirotic on his back, and Thompson looked like he might have been fouled, but no call on the play.
Now, LeBron is navigating. See, he understands he's got Mirotic on his hip, so he's just trying to time and position the pass. I mean, that's not a foul.
No.
There?
No. It's hard, it seems, sometimes, Doris. What do you think on alley-oops? The guy who's on the receiving end a lot of times, it's easy to get pushed and off track as Calderon knocks down the jumper. 1 point lead for the Pelicans. Cavaliers trying to hang on to their number 3 seed in the East. Clark missing the 3. And Philadelphia 76ers all-winning tonight. Foul on Mirotic. As you take a look at the Eastern Conference standings, both Cleveland and Philadelphia at 45 and 30.
9 straight wins for Philadelphia. First game without
Embiid.
Yep. Ben Simmons has another triple-double tonight. 13 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists.
Unbelievable. He has been outstanding in his rookie year.
What's the call here?
Looks like they're going to do it again. I'm not sure that any time went off the clock either. Buford hands it off to J.R. Smith. Thompson on the roll and gets it to go with the left. He looks a lot more bouncy, don't you think,
Sure
since prior to the
does.
injury?
No question.
He's got 10 assists now, LeBron.
And look at Tristan Thompson. This guy's activity level is making him a factor on both ends. This is Tristan Thompson at his absolute best.
James. Smith for 3. Yes! A 7-0 Cavalier run has them up by 4. Clark for 3. James approaching another triple-double, his 17th potentially of the year. 2 rebounds short of 1. 5 on the clock. Tough step back. And boarded by Miller.
Great checkout by Anthony Davis.
Miller got it.
Boy, he's starting to feel it a little bit, isn't he?
And Darius Miller evens the Pelicans to 50% from downtown. He's got 11. Boy, the bench for the Pelicans tonight between Mirotic and Miller done a great job. Clarkson, speaking of bench help, a big night for him. He's got 21. Extra pass by Mirotic to Clark. And Ian Clark struggling on his last few attempts. Calderon! The building is lit. You're watching NBA Friday, presented by State Farm, and a reborn, rejuvenated Tristan Thompson.
Well, that block is part of the 7-0 run. Not surprisingly, since LeBron checked back in, it has been a 13-3 run. You do not want to surround, well, you do want to surround LeBron with great three-point shooting and a dynamic roller, and they've done every bit of that. This guy always surveying the floor. And what can you say about Jose Calderon? He's playing because George Hill is back in the locker room and won't return with that ankle injury. The guy stays ready. I love this guy.
He's helped Cleveland get to a 13-3 run. Holiday had it partially blocked by Calderon, and Davis cleaned it up. Back to Jose Calderon, the longtime veteran, spent most of his career with the Toronto Raptors. Remember when the Cavaliers had that 16-game winning streak, I think it was early in the season? He was the starter for the majority of those games, and the Cavs are actually 21-9 with him as a starter this year. Thompson inside.
That is Thompson's 6th offensive rebound and 12th overall.
Cleveland surging ahead here by 7 in the fourth quarter. Holiday got all the way to the bucket.
Well, such a tough move, right? Just uses that screen, goes shoulder to shoulder.
Holiday coming off a triple-double a couple of nights ago. James out to Calderon again. And Mirotic with the board. Plenty of time left, under 5 minutes to go. Good closeout by Clarkson on Miller. Mirotic had a mismatch against Calderon. Those two have been teammates before, Doris, on the Spanish national team. Mirotic actually a native of Montenegro, but has a Spanish passport and has played for them in World Cup basketball competition in FIBA. Here's Holiday on top, guarded by Smith. Boy, slammed on the brakes and hit nothing but net. Drew Holiday straight out of the Drew League in L.A. Wow.
Nice.
And the margin down to 3. LeBron got the switch he wanted. Backing down Holiday. He's got a little one, and that's going to be a foul against Holiday. And that is the 14th foul against the Pelicans.
Well, you talk about making a move. It looks like he's out of control. My goodness gracious. You see, he just goes right at J.R. Smith, gets separation with that hard pullback dribble. That is pretty. My goodness.
Holiday with 19 tonight, right at his season average. Here's James working against Solomon Hill. 5 on the clock. And James looking for the call. Won't get it. Davis working on Thompson, and he leaves it short. The loose ball foul going to go against the Cavs. Pardon me, that's going to go against Solomon Hill.
Against number 44, Solomon Hill. His second penalty.
Well, for our ABC Sunday Showcase game this week, James Harden, Chris Paul, and the West-leading Rockets in San Antonio taking on LaMarcus Aldridge and the Spurs. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown 3 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC and the ESPN app. Hey, what about the voices, Doris, with LeBron at the free throw line? All those voices that were wondering back in September, how's it going to work out with Chris Paul and James Harden? And two ball-dominant guys, how's it going to work out?
Well, who was one guy who admitted it to us today, who didn't think it could work?
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis said it.
Yeah, surprising. Talent has a way of figuring things out, though, right?
Yes, they do.
You'll see the Houston Rockets on ABC Sunday Showcase. Holiday with the floater is good. 21 with the meter still running.
Well, the willing switch by the Cavaliers. So the top defender on the switch was right where Drew wanted him. It led to that soft floater right inside the free throw line.
James on Miller, isolated with 9 on the shot clock. And LeBron hits the mid-range. And LeBron now wants to guard Holiday. They get the switch, though, onto Thompson. Holiday all the way to the cup with the left.
Well, this guy is flat playing basketball and gets the switch on the screen, and he backs up so he gets some momentum on Tristan Thompson.
Savvy move, and it's a 3-point Cleveland advantage. They dial up James's number again against the same defender, Hill. And the same result, Butter.
Well, only one guy has scored more baskets in the fourth quarter than LeBron James. This guy, in terms of field goals, assists, he's so dynamic in closing time.
And Davis left it short. LeBron James just now 1 board short of his 17th triple-double of the season. That's the most of any season in his career. And they go right back to him. They're going to milk LeBron James. And he's producing. Dial it up. The king is in town.
LeBron James averages 7 fourth-quarter points. He's got the last 8. None of them easy. It hasn't mattered the defender. I saw him do this in Denver. That one-legged fall-away jump shot. For some guys, this is a tough look. For LeBron, it's just another night. He passes MJ for consecutive games in double figures. Greatness for watching.
Okay, coming up next, second half of our doubleheader featuring C.J. McCollum and the Blazers taking on the Clippers. Clippers trying to stay alive in the Western Conference playoff race. And, boy, what about the Portland Trailblazers? One of the great stories this year in the NBA. I don't think many people picked them to finish as high as they are right now. That would be third in the Western Conference. But Terry Stotts has done one of the great coaching jobs this year in the NBA, Doris.
I mean, think about some of the coaching that has gone on this year. Terry Stotts. Quinn Snyder.
Yeah.
Think about what Miami has had to navigate. And if Miami can get healthy in the playoffs, still a scary proposition.
Yeah, right now they would match up against the Boston Celtics in a 2-7 matchup. And Whiteside came back last night for the Heat.
Dwayne Casey, Brad Stevens. I mean, my goodness gracious, you got Coach of the Year candidates all over both conferences.
Holiday kicks it out to Solomon Hill. And Cleveland controls. Thompson with the board. Under 2 minutes to go. 7-point lead for the Cavaliers. A win tonight for Cleveland. They would inch a half game ahead of the Philadelphia 76ers in the East for the third seed. James. Hill got it to fall. That's down to a 5-point game. They need a stop here, Doris.
Who draws the assignment of LeBron right now? Darius Miller now takes his opportunity. And now Drew Holiday says, you know what? Let's make the switch. I got him.
Wow. Holiday having a great year defensively. Forces the miss. And the Pelicans still alive. Under a minute to go. Down by 5. Holiday got into LeBron's body and got the finish for it.
How fearless has this guy been? And I said it all night. This guy's been overshadowed by the greatness of Anthony Davis, but he's been critical to what they've done.
Larry Drew calls out the play. Tyronn Lue in the building watching tonight. Drew in control of the sidelines. Clarkson. And the Pelicans get the stop. See if they go for the 2 or get the 3 here.
Get it to Drew Holiday.
For the tie, Holiday! And a foul by Davis. He had a great look at it. And Drew Holiday is shooting at a 35% clip this year from downtown.
He's got 10 fourth quarter points, helping New Orleans get back and make a push here.
That's going to put J.R. Smith at the foul line. It's a one-possession game right now. Smith is shooting 71% from the line this year. Coming off perhaps his best game of the season for the Cavaliers a couple of nights ago in Charlotte. Pelicans need a miss here to keep it a one-possession game. It's a 4-point lead. See if they go for a quick 2 or go for 3 here. Holiday missed it, and that might just do it. Clarkson fouled by Miller. The Cavaliers ready to close the deal here. Thompson with a season-high 14 rebounds on that last one. And LeBron James just 1 rebound shy of another triple-double. Clarkson at the line. Doris, as you look at this version of the Cavaliers, you think about the Raptors. They've been pretty dominant in the East. Boston back a bit, the number 2 seed. Is Cleveland's defense good enough to get them through the Eastern Conference and win it?
I mean, how many years have we been talking about Cleveland's defense not being good enough?
Yeah.
I mean, tonight, there were stretches where they looked absolutely awful. Couldn't contain the ball, giving up paint points. But guess who you got? You got the king.
Back after this. Just a reminder that there are new episodes every Wednesday of Adam Schefter's podcast for a weekly trip inside the world of one of the sport's top newsbreakers. Listen on the ESPN app or Apple Podcasts. And I'll be watching that NFL draft. Adam giving us a little bonus information at lunch today.
Well, I wonder if he gets any NBA on that podcast, because he's a huge NBA fan.
You can have me on when he wants. 5-point game. 7.9 to play. Davis. They need a 3 here. And he missed it badly. Davis subsequently holding his right ankle a little bit. And the Cavaliers with their 46th win of the season. LeBron James, 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 11 assists. And Davis still clutching that right toe area. Not a good look for the Pelicans moving forward. Let's go to Adam with LeBron.
All right, LeBron, in the fourth quarter, you scored 8 points, 3 big baskets, and you looked over to the Pelicans bench after making those shots. What was the message to them?
Just trying to close out the game. My love for the game is my motivation, and this is a playoff team, and it's good to get this win, especially after the way we started.
Tonight you passed Michael Jordan, 867 consecutive double-figure scoring games. What does it mean to you to break Michael Jordan's mark?
I think for me, anytime I'm in the same breath as the greats of this game, it's just very humbling knowing where I come from. I grew up 30 minutes south of here, where the statistics were not for us and for me. So, for me to continue to be an inspiration to the youth and do what I do on the floor, it means a lot for me in that sense.
LeBron, a big event in Cleveland next month. What should the Cleveland Browns do with the #1 pick?
Listen, those guys been in the war room a lot longer than I have, but they've done an excellent job so far in the offseason. I keep seeing Sam Darnold's name up there for the #1 pick, but I think they're going to do what's best. So we got 1 and 4. There's a lot of great players in this draft. Saquon Barkley, one of them as well. Minka Fitzpatrick, a lot of guys. So our Browns have done a great job so far. And it's a lot of players in this draft, and we got a lot of picks, so we'll see what happens.
You have an off night. You come out and join us for draft coverage on ESPN that night.
All right, Adam, I like that.
Thanks, LeBron. Appreciate it. Back to you, Mark.
All right. I'll tell you what, you line up LeBron at tight end, a wideout. He gets you some catches and some touchdowns, Doris Burke.
I've no doubt about that.
Final score, the Cavaliers win at 107-102. An inch ahead of Philadelphia, still the #3 seed in the Eastern Conference. James almost had himself and messed around and got a triple-double. Came up just 1 rebound shy. Coming up next, second half of our doubleheader, the Clippers at the Blazers. For Doris Burke and Adam Schefter, let's go back to Michelle Beadle in the studio right after these messages.